Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another movie review. Now this movie is brought to me by BET Plus. It just dropped. It's called The Despaired. So it starts off with this couple. I guess they're outside of a date or whatever. And some guy says something to what's her name? Jillian's husband, which is Caleb. No, Caleb is the son. Wayne. And he ends up getting shot right in front of her. So next thing you know, at this time, I think Caleb is probably like 8 or 9 years old. They go to the funeral or whatever. And then this girl, Jillian, sees this girl leaving the funeral. And she's like, what do you want with my husband? Who are you to my husband? And the lady drove off. So fast forward 14 years later, this lady, whoever she is, whatever. Jillian works as a mail carrier, so she delivers packages or whatever. So she ends up getting a letter in the mail, which ends up resurrecting her husband, but her husband's body is trapped in some abandoned house somewhere in town. So on her delivery route, she ends up reading it and she realized, like, oh, my husband. So she goes in the house and her husband's there and she was like, I've missed you. I loved you and all this time. And he asks about his son. His son is doing great and he wants to see him one day. So after that, he was telling her, like, listen, he only had 4 days. In order to stay alive, she has to do like a sacrifice or like a ritual. You know how in the Bible where they sacrifice the goat and the lamb and the blood runneth over like that. So that's what he told her she had to do. So over the next course of days, she started acting strange. Her son picked up on the behavior and it's just like, So one day the son stole the school car and hotwired it. They called her while she was en route and she was just like, so she had to go pick him up early from school and said some words to him and he was like, I just stole a car. She was like, yes, I know. And it was tremendously wrong. And she said something that really hurt him. He was like, I think she was like, oh no. He was like, you stop acting and you stop showing compassion to me since your husband died. And she was like, yeah, you were doing all this stuff. Like, she said something really hurtful. Then it's just like, never mind, whatever. He was like, go do what you do best, which is work. That really struck a chord with her. And same with him. So she starts visiting the house more often. One of the days she goes to see her husband. Come to find out, she ended up, having relations with the guy, and he unleashed a deadly evil spirit onto her. So now there's this like dark cloud or entity that's following her, and basically he said, you got to get me three people so that I can sacrifice so that my body can stay here on earth. So she starts going down this dwindling path. She starts thinking like, no, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. But overall, the entity engulfed her and basically got her to do what she wanted. So they basically come to find out there was 3 people that were involved in like, hurting. Like, they don't like nobody to hurt kids. So fast forward, long story short, Wayne, her husband, was working as an escort at this doctor's place where they basically illegally kill people's babies. Come to find out, the guy that killed Wayne in the beginning was one of the workers' husbands, and he figured out and found out that she was pregnant, but she didn't know that. But he brought her to the doctor where he worked at and basically had her baby killed. So it was like an eye for an eye situation. So Jillian starts figuring out like, wow, what the heck did I really get into? So she ends up seeing, she went to like this therapy, anonymous grievance services, whatever, that offer services for people who grieve their loved ones. So she ends up meeting one of the girls there, and the girl told her what was happening, and she ended up getting her in touch with the psychic or whatever. And the psychic told her, like, you have this dark cloud entity that's over you, and is basically taking you down a spiral that you don't want to do. And he was like, you need to drink this tea so it can cleanse you. She was like, no, I don't want that. And then this guy, not the guy, the girl ends up showing up from back in the day. Come to find out, she was down with that too. Like, they was down with that burnt offering. Um, and yeah, stuff just started happening. Fast forward again. Um, Caleb ended up finding out where Jillian was going all this time. He finally sees his dad, but not in the light that you're supposed to. The dad ended up getting him to coerce him into doing the next last burnt offering. So far, he got this man who basically was a pedophile towards kids. He got Dr. Patel, the one that was illegally killing babies. And then he finally got the guy who basically killed him because he knew what was going on from the get go. Ain't nobody saying nothing. So once you mess with the dark magic of dark Japanese magic, it's a wrap. You gotta do whatever they say, or you're gonna die regardless. They're gonna get your soul, and there's no way you can fix it. So at the end, Jillian sacrificed herself because the dad was trying to take the son from her. Because the last time you got till midnight, so the last one, Quinn was killed way before it happened, and it didn't go through. So he was going to take Caleb. Jillian sacrificed her son for sacrificed herself for her son because like she basically lived her life. She just wanted to see her son go on continuing his life. So she ends up sacrificing herself. Wayne's whatever evil stuff ended up coming into her, but her heart was still pure that she was able to still survive. So her son survived, and Wayne's soul went back into the dark entity world where it came from. So basically, he was a demon because on Earth he was doing demon stuff, doing stuff he shouldn't have done, and he was basically keeping his wife out of it. So it basically was an eye for an eye. You do bad, God gonna strike you, and that's all that matters. That's all it came down to it. So it's like a sacrifice for sacrifice. And in the end, he didn't live. His body went to hell. Wherever it went, that's where it went. And basically, Jillian and Caleb got to live their next, continue on with their life. So fast forward 3 months later, they started like renovating in that house where Wayne's body was trapped in. Come to find out, them letters were still in that mailbox. So one of the workers opened it up and it said, "To the despair." Oh, it's about to start all over again. It's like, sometimes you just gotta be careful what you ask for. It's like, you may think it's good, but it's all evil in the end. So that was really intense. Definitely gotta check it out. It's on BET Plus, called The Despair. They just dropped it. So with that being said, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.